Yes, he is here. Thank you so much, John, for being here and giving up your time. I'm going to do a brief intro, John, and then you can also introduce yourself. I met John, I think about 2 or 3 years ago. We started working, and it was really at the height of the pandemic, and I learned a lot from working with John, who at the time had just become a leader, where the company was going through a huge transformation, completely changing the way they did things. And also, John was also at the time moving, because I think we used to live together in the Maryland area, and John was moving to Florida. So it was amazing where he taught me. I learned a lot from him, just watching the way he navigated that transition, and was able to show up as a leader in that position.
I had a long laundry list of things I wanted to cover, right? I was going to get my full value out of, the coaching and, what I had available to me. So It was everything from, a sounding board, recommendation, training, optimization, enablement, people dynamics. I mean, it just went on and on and on. And we did this on the first session, right? To the point where you was like, whoa, wait a minute. Let's focus here. So, Sonny, one of the main things that I was looking for is the shared experience that you had with coaching and working with other, leaders and highly successful people. I wanted to get that information. I wanted to get that shared knowledge from you, right, as a transfer of that information. So that was the main thing, in addition to that big laundry list that I had.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, Sonny, I was thinking this was a one-way street. As I said, I was looking for you to provide the knowledge to me.
Yeah.
One of the first things that you said to me was, wait a minute, what's your purpose? And that completely threw me. I was like, what? What's your purpose? So you got to start out. So one of the things that I learned real quickly is the amount of work that goes into a coaching session in order to be able to get the value out of that coaching session. So that was one of the things that I learned. And then the deep introspection. Our talks, our conversation was inward. Again, I'm thinking, hey, how are you going to help me with, dealing with, this team of highly driven individuals?
Yeah.
You're focused on me and, making sure I was in a good place. Some of the things I have some notes: energy management. Emotional intelligence. These things were just throwing me. I'm like, what do you mean? Where are you coming from, right? And as we got into it, I really learned to, look at those things internally, right? Make sure I focus on those things. The emotional intelligence, again, still gets me to today. Yeah. And what's my purpose? When I started solving for that really helped me in the challenges that I still face today, right?
Thank you so much for sharing that, John, because that was actually a highlight I learned from you, because I remember when I started working with you, and you like this veteran leader working with salespeople. And I remember wanting to talk to you about Brene Brown and vulnerability and and I was thinking, I don't know how he's going to laugh me out of this call. And I'll never forget how I had to keep asking you questions. And then you came to me and said that you'd watched this thing and it'd blown you. And I was just like, so it made me realize how I need to be courageous and always stick to my guns. And you were just inspirational in teaching me that is important to everybody in every single industry. Yeah. So thank you so much for sharing that, John. No. So one question I'd love you to share is, if somebody who's kind of not 100% sure about coaching and whether they should do it, what would be something you'd say to them?
So one of the first things on any successful journey, and you'll hear it over and over again, one of the first things is emulate someone that has been successful or is successful in the endeavor that you're embarking on, right? And if you do that, if you look at highly successful individuals, highly successful teams, highly successful environments, what you will find is all of those environments, all of those individuals, all of those teams have coaches, multiple coaches, continuous coaching, and even the elites have coaching. Someone, when we're focused and we're dealing with the challenges that we have, it's hard to step back and bring yourself out of it. It's hard to keep yourself accountable. That's what coaching will do. Hey, wait a minute. Stop, pause, take a minute. Have you thought about this? Have you thought about that? Holding you to account, right? When we discussed at our last session, we discussed you were going to do these things. Did you get that accomplished, right? Those are some of the things that are just invaluable. So I would say if you're on the fence, if you haven't done it before, pull the trigger. Think about those who have gone before you, those who are really successful in doing what you would like to do, and then find that individual that you're going to be able to get that transfer of knowledge and keep you on that path.
Wow. Couldn't have said it better. Thank you so much, John, for sharing that knowledge with us. And thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day. Really, really appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
My pleasure.